I'm Allendale's Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Latest check of action as we survey the surface analysis doesn't show a lot of movement in our most recent frontal boundary position. We've got this warm front starting to lift across the central plains. It's actually made more progress to the east and north in Nebraska than it has any farther south. And what's interesting is we've actually seen a bit of a cool front develop behind the low. So, this is one of the things I think we have to pay attention to. Everybody's talking about, warm up, moderating temperatures, warm up, warm up, warm up. Cold air is not ready to give it up just yet, all right? Yeah, we're seeing some milder temperatures pushing across parts of the western Corn Belt back into the central plains, but I also think we've got another night of pretty cold air that'll sag down over parts of western Nebraska, northeast Colorado, places like that. And even as we go longer term, I think that the model that everybody seems to worship right now, the GFS, is just continuing to barrel down a road that is not the most likely solution. The GFS is showing a major warm-up, and I know people are jumping all over this. I'm seeing it on social media. I'm seeing it everywhere. People talking about how mild it's going to be, and I'm just not sold yet. If we had other models jumping on board and saying there's going to be a super mild push, maybe. But I'm seeing some other models that are arguing against it. Other things that I see here, a big push of rain into California. So there's moisture coming into the West Coast, and as we go through the next several weeks, I'm seeing front after front after front hammer the Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, all the way down into northern and central California. There's moisture there. There are systems there. And if this weather flow pattern gets to any kind of zonal pattern at all, which I think is what we're transitioning to, that tells me that we're going to be seeing a very active forecast pattern developing across the country as a whole sometime later this month. My gut feeling is we're going to see it start around mid-month, and then we're going to be seeing it probably work backward from there through the rest of the month. So I see some moisture coming. And that also, if we move into an active pattern, that also will kind of knock this mild talk back just a bit as well. But for now, that's what the market is trading. Watch very, very closely as we go through the next few days to see if anybody kind of jumps on anything different. Outside of that, we've got some precipitation that'll be coming across the Corn Belt as we go through the end of this weekend. I don't really see a whole lot of major problems. We'll see another front trying to develop as we go toward the middle and end of next week. That one, to me, on the GFS is way overdone in terms of where it sits and rotates, but I think we'll see some moisture passing through out of this first system, half an inch or less. The one next week, I think we're probably looking at half an inch, maybe an inch in a few spots down in the deep south. Going then into the extended forecast period, we've already kind of talked about the fact that we like a colder solution. No real surprise there. It's something we've been talking about. Down in South America, midday model updates really haven't changed much either, as we see now in Argentina, just a little bit of moisture trying to sneak in over the course of the later part of this week. Saturday, Sunday, I think we can see a front that kind of lifts through Buenos Aires and parts of La Pampa, southern Cordoba province, southern Santa Fe as well. This won't be an area of precipitation that hits everybody or all areas. I'm looking for coverage in key crop areas of Argentina, probably at about 50 to 60%. But those southern areas are definitely going to be in line to pick up moisture. It'll be interesting to see if, as the front grows and develops, whether it can spread its moisture farther. This will be key because we have another system that may try and develop down the road later on next week that right now wants to stay farther north. But models are giving me some signs that maybe it wants to expand to the south. And I think if we moisten up the atmosphere a little bit in some of those southern areas, it'll be easier for that front to expand or actually develop sooner, if you will, in southern parts and central parts of Argentina before lifting north. So I think this first little event is going to be more key than maybe we're giving it credit for to start with. We'll have to see. I also want to see more confirming model runs before I get too excited about it. Brazil looks fine here at midday. No change there. Decent moisture for probably 70, 80, even 90% of the region. I'm looking for 2-week totals of 1 to 3 inches. At this point, to me, personally, I would be questioning whether it's a little bit too much in spots, but I'm still not hearing any complaints out of that part of the world either. We kind of alluded to that this morning in our online write-up. That's the way the weather situation stacks up at midday. If you've got any questions on the weather or specific regions, go ahead and give us a call at Allendale. We'll get you set up. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.